Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Definitely. Always ready to explore.
Awesome. Today we're tackling a classic.
The Call of the Wild.
You got it. Jack London's The Call of the Wild.
Yeah.
We've got a great summary here. It kind of lays out all the major plot points, the themes,
Yeah.
the whole deal.
Right.
It's a pretty wild adventure story, literally.
Yeah. And I mean, so much more than that, too. Really digs into, survival,
Hmm.
what it takes to adapt, and that primal pull we all feel, I think.
Absolutely. That Call of the Wild. So we start with Buck. He's living the good life in California. Like, seriously, spoiled rotten. Then, bam, everything changes. Kidnapped, shipped off the Klondike. It's the gold rush. Total chaos. How does London use that contrast, that comfy life, to the brutal Klondike to set up the story?
It's such a smart move. You're instantly thrown into this world of extremes. It's like, here's paradise lost, and now welcome to hell on earth.
Right. Yeah.
It throws those themes of adaptation and survival right in your face. Buck can't just waltz into the Klondike with his tail wagging. He has to change.
He has to become almost a different dog.
Exactly. It's like London is saying, okay, forget everything you know about being a good boy, a pampered pet. Out here, it's the law of club and fang.
Whoa, okay. The law of club and fang. That sounds intense. What's that all about?
It's survival of the fittest, but like raw and brutal. It's all about strength, instincts, being willing to fight. And it's a harsh lesson for Buck because those ideas of fairness or compassion that he had from his old life, they don't exist here.
So he has to tap into this wild side he never even knew he had.
Absolutely. It's adapt or die, literally. And that transformation, it's not just physical, it's mental and emotional too. He's shedding that domesticated self to survive.
He's becoming something new, something wilder.
Right. And then we meet John Thornton. He's this amazing character, this beacon of kindness in this crazy, harsh world. It's like a breath of fresh air for Buck, someone who finally treats him with respect and trust after all that brutality.
Yeah, it's a turning point for sure, but also kind of heartbreaking in a way, right?
It is. Because their bond is so strong, it awakens this deep loyalty in Buck, a love he never knew he had. But it also makes what happens later even more difficult.
You mean when? When Thornton dies?
Yeah. Buck loses the one person who showed him true kindness, and it forces him to make this huge choice. Stay with the humans, with the world he's adapted to, or answer that call of the wild that's been growing inside him all along.
And he runs off with the wolves,
Yeah.
right? Becomes this legendary figure, almost mythical.
He does. It's more than just survival at that point. It's choosing freedom, total and absolute. He embraces those instincts, that wildness. It's a rejection of everything that held him back before.
Powerful stuff. So this isn't just some adventure tale, right? It's about resilience, facing the unknown and tapping into that wild part of ourselves. But what does all this mean for our listeners? Like, how does it apply to everyday life?
I think the call of the wild challenges us. It forces us to ask, what would it mean for me to answer that call? And it doesn't have to be, running off to Alaska. It could be something small. Maybe it's about facing your fears, being true to yourself, or breaking free from expectations.
Finding your own version of freedom.
Exactly. What's your wild? What's holding you back from answering that call?
That's something for everyone to think about. Really gets you thinking. Well, thanks for joining me for this deep dive into the Call of the Wild. It's been a wild ride.
The pleasure was all mine. And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll all hear that call someday.
Maybe we already have. Until next time, folks.
Keep exploring.